I killed a human. I mean, don't edit that out of context, please. Buddhist Books Podcast, episode 242, Tipiṭaka, part 160, in which I will continue reading aloud Mahāvagga IV. This is Mahāvagga IV, part 4. So if you would like to start at the beginning of the Tipiṭaka, the 3 baskets of pre-sectarian early Buddhism, you can click right there. I'll go ahead and just jump into the reading, just to be different. Picking up right where we left off last time. Now at that time, the group of 6 monks, that's the group of 6 monks, that's how we represent them here on Buddhist Books Podcast. That's what they look like. Invited, parentheses, while they were, end parentheses, offenders, which is pretty much always, they have a reputation. They told this matter to the Lord. He said, quote, monks, an offender should not invite. Whoever, parentheses, such, end parentheses, should invite, there is an offensive wrongdoing. I allow you, monks, having obtained leave from whatever offender is inviting, to reprove him for the offense. End quote. Now at that time, the group of 6 monks, parentheses, although, end parentheses, obtaining leave, did not wish to give leave. They told this matter to the Lord. He said, quote, I allow you, monks, to suspend the invitation of one not giving leave, and thus, monks, should it be suspended. If on an invitation day, whether the 14th or the 15th, one should say, in the presence of that individual, in the midst of the order, quote within quotes, honored sirs, let the order listen to me. The individual so-and-so is an offender. I am suspending his invitation. One should not invite in his presence. The invitation comes to be suspended. End quote. Now at that time, the group of 6 monks, saying, quote, before well-behaved monks suspended our invitation, end quote, themselves suspended beforehand, without ground, without reason, the invitation of pure monks who were not offenders. And they also suspended the invitation of those who had, parentheses, already, end parentheses, invited. They told this matter to the Lord. He said, quote, monks, one should not suspend without ground, without reason, the invitation of pure monks who are not offenders. Whoever should, parentheses, so, end parentheses, suspend it, there is an offense of wrongdoing. Nor, monks, should one suspend the invitation of those who have invited. Whoever should, parentheses, so, end parentheses, suspend it, there is an offense of wrongdoing. Monks, an invitation comes to be, parentheses, duly, it's Just making sure I didn't skip a page. End parentheses, suspended thus. Not parentheses, duly, end parentheses, suspended thus. And how, monks, does an invitation come to be not parentheses, duly, end parentheses, suspended? If, monks, one suspends an invitation when the invitation has been spoken, uttered, and brought to a close by the threefold formula, the invitation comes to be not parentheses, duly, end parentheses, suspended. If, monks, one suspends an invitation when the invitation has been spoken, uttered, and brought to a close by a twofold formula, three dots, presumably the same as with the threefold formula. By a onefold formula, three dots. Again, the Pali Text Society likes to leave things out and leave us guessing. Hey, Pali Text Society, could you translate the whole thing?
I prefer not to.
All right. Well, I thought I'd try. Thanks, Bartleby. By those keeping the reins together, an invitation comes to be not parentheses, duly, end parentheses, suspended. It is thus, monks, that an invitation comes to be not parentheses, duly, end parentheses, suspended. And how, monks, does an invitation day come to be parentheses, duly, end parentheses, suspended? If, monks, one suspends an invitation when the invitation has been spoken, uttered, but not brought to a close by the threefold formula, the invitation comes to be parentheses, duly, end parentheses, suspended. If, monks, one suspends three dots, but not brought to a close by the twofold formula, three dots. By the onefold formula, three dots. By those keeping the reins together, the invitation comes to be parentheses, duly, end parentheses, suspended. It is thus, monks, that an invitation comes to be parentheses, duly, end parentheses, suspended. This is a case, monks, when on an invitation day a monk suspends parentheses another, end parentheses, monk's invitation. If other monks know concerning this monk, quote within quotes, the venerable one is not pure in the conduct of his body, he is not pure in the conduct of his speech, he is not pure in the mode of livelihood, in his mode of livelihood. He is ignorant, inexperienced. He is not competent when being himself questioned to give an explanation. And if having snubbed him, they say, quote within quotes, that's enough, monk. Let there be no strife. Let there be no quarrel. Let there be no dispute. Let there be no contention. My eyes are a little funny today. And it's, never mind, it's cloudy, so there's not much natural light. That's why I'm a little more pink and yellow than on other days. Anyway, behind the scenes movie magic, when the natural light comes in, my eyes have an easier time with this. The order may invite. This is a case, monks, three dots, parentheses, the Pali Text Society. It says it's the same stuff as what? I don't know. Something. Maybe what came immediately before or what came on the previous page. We don't know. Oh, same as in 6 above. Okay, there's numbers. Oh, clever. Three dots. Oh, quote within quotes, three dots. Is pure in the conduct of his body, but he is not pure in the conduct of his speech. He is not pure in his mode of livelihood. Three dots. to give an explanation, and quote within quotes, 4 dots, the order may invite. All right. I think that would have made more sense if the full text were there and not a lot of 3 dots. Groups of 3 dots, I should say. This is a case, monks, 3 dots, as in 6 above, in parentheses, 3 dots, is pure. It was interesting for a little while. It was kind of fun there with this group of 6 monks, but now we're back in this territory. 3 dots is pure to the conduct of his body. He is pure in the conduct of his body. He is pure in the conduct of his speech. He is not pure in the conduct of livelihood. 3 dots, the order may invite. This is a case, monks, 3 dots, same stuff, 3 dots, is pure in the conduct of his body, pure in the conduct of his speech, pure in the mode of his livelihood, but he is ignorant and inexperienced. He is not competent when himself being questioned, 3 dots, end quote, end quotes. Okay, I think I get what's happening here. I'll continue reading. But if someone is impure in the conduct of their body, impure in their conduct of speech, impure in their mode of livelihood, and ignorant and inexperienced, then that's no bueno. And also, if it's any one of those things. So if they're very clean, very perfect, chiseled, everything is right about how they look and how they speak, but not their mode of livelihood, and they're knowledgeable and experienced, because the mode of livelihood, right? So any one of those 4 things, if it's not all 4, then yeah, it's not good. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's what's happening here. Let's confirm that. This is a case, monks, 3 dots, same as before. 3 dots is pure in the conduct of body. 3 dots, pure in mode of livelihood. He is learned, experienced. He is competent when being himself questioned to give an explanation. One should speak thus to him. Quote within quotes. If you, your reverence, suspend this monk's invitation, why do you suspend it? Do you suspend it on account of a falling away from moral habit? Do you suspend it on account of a falling away from good habits? Do you suspend it on account of falling away from parentheses right and parentheses view? And quote within quotes. If he should speak thus, quote within quotes, I suspend it on account of a falling away from moral habit, 3 dots, a falling away from parentheses right and parentheses view, and quote within quotes, one should speak thus to him. Quote within quotes, but does your reverence know what is a falling away from moral habit, 3 dots, a falling from parentheses right and parentheses view, and quote within quotes. If he should speak thus, quote within quotes, I know, your reverence, what is a falling away from moral habit. 3 dots, a falling away from parentheses right and parentheses view. And quote within quotes, one should speak thus to him, quote within quotes, but which, your reverence, is a falling away from moral habit? Which is a falling away from good habits? Which is a falling away from parentheses right and parentheses view? And quote within quotes, if he should speak thus, quote within quotes, this is a falling away from moral habit. The 4 offenses involving defeat, the 13 offenses entailing a formal meeting of the order. This is a falling away from good habits, a grave offense, an offense of expiation, an offense which ought to be confessed, an offense of wrongdoing, an offense of wrong speech. This is a falling away from parentheses right and parentheses view. A wrong view, taking up an extreme view. One should speak thus to him. Quote within quotes, but if you, your reverence, suspend this monk's invitation, do you suspend it on account of what was seen? Do you suspend it on account of what was heard? Do you suspend it on account of what was suspected? And quote within quotes, if he should speak thus, this is kind of fun actually, If he should speak thus, quote within quotes, I am suspending it on account of what was seen, or I am suspending it on account of what was heard, or I am suspending it on account of what was suspected, and quote within quotes, one should speak thus to him. Quote within quotes, but if you, your reverence, are suspending this monk's invitation on account of what was seen, how have you seen? When have you seen? Where have you seen? Have you seen him committing an offense involving defeat? Was he seen committing an offense entailing a formal meeting of the order? Was he seen committing a grave offense, an offense of expiation, an offense which ought to be confessed, an offense of wrongdoing, an offense of wrong speech? And where were you? And where was this monk? And what were you doing? And what was this monk doing? And quote within quotes. This is Lord Buddha telling you you should say these things. And then if he says this, then you should reply this. So, all right. If he should speak thus, quote within quotes, but I, your reverence, am not suspending this monk's invitation on account of what was seen. I am suspending the invitation on account of what was heard. And quote within quotes, one should speak to him thus. Quote within quotes. But if you, your reverence, suspend this monk's invitation on account of what was heard, what have you heard? How have you heard? When have you heard? And where have you heard? Did you hear that he committed an offense involving defeat? Did you hear that he had committed an offense entailing a formal meeting of the order? Did you hear that he had committed a grave offense, an offense of expiation, an offense which ought to be confessed, an offense of wrongdoing, an offense of wrong speech? Did you hear from a monk? Did you hear from a nun? 3 dots. A probationer? 3 dots. A novice? 3 dots. A woman novice? 3 dots. A lay follower? 3 dots. A woman lay follower? 3 dots. Kings? 3 dots. King's ministers? 3 dots. From leaders of parentheses other end parentheses sects? Old Mahāvagga. 3 dots. From disciples of parentheses other end parentheses sects? End quote unquote. And I remind you, this is Lord Buddha telling you, you should say all of these things. I don't know about you, but if someone were to come at me with all this stuff, I'd be like, this person is seriously annoying. Oh my God. But Lord Buddha's telling me, be annoying. I guess this is a case where if you're suspending a monk's invitation, then you should question the heck out of the guy who's suspending the other monk's invitation, basically, is the idea. Don't just walk around talking like this for no reason. That's what I'd say. All right. For the record, I'm not suspending any monk's invitation, so don't at me. Sorry. It's raining a little. If he should speak thus, quote within quotes, but I, your reverence, am not suspending this monk's invitation on account of what was heard. I am suspending the invitation on account of what was suspected. And quote within quotes, one should speak to him thus, quote within quotes, but if you, your reverence, are suspending this monk's invitation on account of what was suspected, what did you suspect? How did you suspect? When did you suspect? Where did you suspect? Did you suspect that he had committed an offense involving defeat? Did you suspect that he had committed an offense entailing a formal meeting of the order? Did you suspect that he had committed a grave offense, an offense of expiation, an offense which ought to be confessed, an offense of wrongdoing, an offense of wrong speech? Did you suspect, having heard from a monk, 3 dots, from disciples of parentheses other and parentheses sects? End quote unquote. So inside the 3 dots is from a woman lay follower, a woman novice, a smurfette. Anyway, okay. If he should speak thus, quote within quotes, but I, your reverence, am not suspending this monk's invitation on account of what was suspected. Moreover, I do not know on account of what I am suspending this monk's invitation. End quote within quotes. And if monks, the reproving monk does not satisfy his intelligent fellows in the Brahma faring with his explanation, it is sufficient to say that the reproved monk is blameless. But if the reproving monk satisfies his intelligent fellows in the Brahma faring with his explanation, it is sufficient to say that the reproved monk is blameworthy. Fair enough. It stands to reason. If that reproving monks, admits that he has defamed, parentheses, another monk, end parentheses, with an unfounded charge of an offense involving defeat, then the order, having charged him with an offense entailing a formal meeting of the order, may invite. So, if you're a monk, and you say, hey, that monk over there, he had sex with a lady, or killed a guy, or stole something, or pretended to have superpowers. Those are the 4 rules of defeat, the big rules. And then later they go, no, he didn't. Did you make that up just to make that other monk look bad? And you say, yeah. Then you are now guilty, not of a defeat, not of a top-level treason, high felony or whatever, but of next level down, formal meeting. So don't do that. Don't falsely accuse unless you saw it bouncing with your own eyes or ears. Okay, sorry. Yes. Right. If that reproving monk admits that he has defamed, parentheses, another monk, end parentheses, with an unfounded charge of an offense entailing a formal meeting of the order, having had him dealt with according to the rule, may invite. If that reproving monk admits that he has defamed, parentheses, another monk, end parentheses, with an unfounded charge involving a grave offense, an offense of expiation, an offense which ought to be confessed, an offense of wrongdoing, an offense of wrong speech, the order, having had him dealt with according to the rule, may invite. If that reproved monk admits that he has committed a grave offense involving defeat, the order, having expelled him, may invite. Oh, involving defeat, right. If the monk says, it's true, I killed a guy, or a lady, a human. I killed a human. I mean, don't edit that out of context, please. If the monk, if he admits it, I confess I had sex with a lady while being a monk, or I killed a guy, or the other two, then they say, okay, you are officially, I hereby, whatever the procedure is, kick you out. You're not a monk anymore. Get the F out of here. Anyway, where were we? Oh yeah, we were going to have our invitation day. That's what you do when the monk confesses to the defeat one. If that reproved monk admits that he has committed an offense entailing a formal meeting of the order, having charged him with an offense entailing a formal meeting of the order, may invite. If that reproved monk admits that he has committed a grave offense, an offense of wrong speech, the order, having had him dealt with according to the rule, may invite. This is a case, monks, where a monk comes to have committed a grave offense on an invitation day. It happens. Some monks view it as a grave offense. Other monks view it as an offense entailing a formal meeting of the order. Those monks who view it as a grave offense, having led that monk to one side, having had him dealt with according to the rule, having approached the order, should speak to it thus, quote within quotes, Your Reverences, the monk who has fallen into that offense has made amends for it according to the rule. If it seems right to the order may invite, end quote within quotes. Okay, So you go with the lesser. So some monks think it's an offense entailing a formal meeting, like a felony. Other monks are like, nah, it's just a misdemeanor. Then Lord Buddha is saying, if it's on an invitation day, just try him for the misdemeanor. Like, if you can't agree that it's a felony, just go with misdemeanor. That's merciful. All right. This is a case, monks, where a monk comes to have committed a grave offense on an invitation day. Some monks view it as a grave offense. Other monks view it as an offense of expiation. Some monks view it as a grave offense. Other monks view it as an offense which ought to be confessed. Some monks view it as a grave offense. Other monks view it as an offense of wrongdoing. Some monks view it as a grave offense. Other monks view it as an offense of wrongdoing. These monks who view it as a grave offense, I was wrong. 3 dots, it's the same as before. The 3 dots. The order may invite, end quote, end quotes. Okay, that I was totally wrong. So, grave offense. If we call grave offense misdemeanor, and offense entailing a formal meeting of the order felony, and wrongdoing as like a minor infraction, then what this is saying is if some of the monks think it's just a minor infraction, while other ones think it's a misdemeanor, try him for the misdemeanor. It's just saying always try him for the misdemeanor. If any monk thinks that it's a grave offense, try him for the grave offense, even if anybody else thinks that it's something other than a grave offense. Weird. I mean, I'm sure it must be wisdom, because Lord Buddha said it, obviously. It's like when the president breaks the law, that means it's legal. We all remember Nixon, right? Sorry. This is a case, monks, where a monk comes to have committed an offense of expiation on an invitation day, 3 dots. An offense which ought to be confessed, 3 dots. An offense of wrongdoing, 3 dots. An offense of wrong speech. Some monks view it as an offense of wrong speech. Other monks view it as an offense entailing a formal meeting of the order. Monks. Those monks who view it as an offense of wrong speech, 3 dots. Same as before, even though this is totally new. 3 dots. The order may invite. Okay. I'll just keep reading and we'll see if we can find some kind of pattern or logic to this. So if everybody thinks that it's something, and then some people think it's a grave offense, then you try them for a grave offense. If everybody thinks that it's something, and some people think that it's wrong speech, you try them for wrong speech. But what if some people think it's wrong speech and the others think it's a grave offense? Will they get to that? I don't know. I think that was just lumped into the 3 dotses, and that's the problem with this 3 dotsing that the Pali Text Society loves to do so much. Okay, this is a case, monks, where a monk comes to have committed an offense of wrong speech on an invitation day. Some monks view it as an offense of wrong speech. Other monks view it as a grave offense. Some monks, 3 dots, as an offense of wrong speech. Other monks, 3 dots of expiation. Some monks, 3 dots. Offense of wrong speech. Other monks, 3 dots, which ought to be confessed. Some monks view it as an offense of wrong speech. Other monks view it as an offense of wrongdoing. These monks who view it as an offense of wrong speech, 3 dots. Parentheses, the Pali Text Society is saying something. And parentheses, 3 dots, the order may invite. End quote, end quotes. I feel like the Pali Text Society is translating this as if it's like, yeah, without actually stopping to think about what they're translating and realize that by doing it that way, no message is coming across. Like, there's no information coming across. I mean, not that it's like necessary for us to know how... It's not necessary for us to read these rules at all, let alone to know the specifics of how they work. But if we're going to read it, and it's translated from the original Pali, why not translate it in a way where the information comes across? Sorry, sometimes I complain about that. I will stick to good vibes and just read what's on the page. And we'll do our best. This is a case, monks, where if on an invitation day a monk should speak in the midst of the order saying, quote and quotes, "Honored sirs, let the order listen to me. This matter is known but not the individual. If it seems right to the order, having set aside the matter, may invite, and he should be spoken to thus," quote and quotes, within quotes, "Your Reverence, invitation is laid down by the Lord for those who are pure. If the matter is known but not the individual, speak about that now at once," end quote within quotes. That's the end. That's the end of that part. What? I feel I need to read that whole thing again. I apologize. To anyone who understood that the first time, I apologize. Just give me a second to catch up to you, and then we'll move forward. This is a case, monks, where if on an invitation day, a monk should speak in the midst of the order saying, "Honored sirs, let the order listen to me. This matter is known but not the individual," and quote within quotes, "If it seems right to the order, having set aside the matter, may invite, and he should be spoken to thus," quote within quotes, not within quotes. "Your Reverence, invitation is laid down by the Lord for those who are pure. If the matter is known but not the individual, speak about that now at once," and quote within quotes. Okay, and then he speaks about it, and then stuff happens. Okay, all right. It's not the whole story. It's just this is how you deal with that situation. And then the conversation will continue in whatever direction the conversation is meant to continue on that particular day. Moving on. This is a case, monks, where if on an invitation day a monk should speak in the midst of the order saying, quote within quotes, "Honored sirs, let the order listen to me. This individual is known but not the matter. If it seems right to the order having set aside the individual, may invite, and he should be spoken to thus," quote within quotes, "Your Reverence, invitation is laid down by the Lord for those who are complete. If the individual is known but not the matter, speak about that now at once," end quote within quotes. All right. Okay, so the invitation day basically. Observance day is when everybody gets together and reads the rules aloud together. Or they recite it. It wasn't written down, I guess, at the time. They recite the rules so they know the rules. The invitation day is when they say, okay, does anybody know of any other monk that's breaking the rules that we need to call out right now? And then a monk says, "I know Larry's up to something, but I don't know what it is." Then they bring that up and say, okay, let us bring that up and let's discuss this. Larry, what are you doing? We know you're doing something. There's a precedent for that. You do that. That's what you do. That's how you do that. And then at other times, somebody here stole the cookies, but I don't know who. Okay, so there is a thief somewhere in this room. There is a cookie thief. Who is it? Does anybody have any information? There's a precedent for that too. Okay, moving along. This is a case, monks, 3 dots. Quote within quotes, "Honored sirs, let the order listen to me. This matter is known and the individual. Larry stole the cookies." Right? I mean, that's not what it says. That's just, I'm tying it into the example we just gave. If it seems right to the order having set aside the matter and the individual may invite, and he should be spoken to thus, quote within quotes, "Your Reverence, invitation is laid down by the Lord for the pure and for those who are complete. If the matter is known, and also the individual, speak about that now at once." End quote within quotes. If, monks, the matter is known before an invitation day, the individual afterwards, it is right to say so. If, monks, the individual is known before an invitation day, the matter afterwards, it is right to say so. If, monks, both the matter and the individual are known before an invitation day, and, parentheses, a monk, end parentheses, opens up end parentheses, the case, end parentheses, after the invitation is finished, there is an offense of expiation for opening up. Okay, wait, that last part was a little confusing. By the way, end quote there. That's Lord Buddha finally stopped talking. I mean, in this particular case. So if both are known before the invitation day, and a monk opens up the case after the invitation is finished. Okay. So Larry stole the cookies. The invitation day happens. Larry stole the cookies. Larry, did you steal the cookies? Yes, I stole the cookies. Okay, well, being a thief means you get kicked out. Bye, Larry. Okay, bad example. Larry spat in in the corn. You're not supposed to spit in the corn, right? So a wrongdoing. Larry, did you spit in the corn? Yes. Oh, that's a wrongdoing, mister. Okay, I'm sorry. Well, this isn't an offense where you have to say you're sorry. This is just an offense where we tell you it's a wrongdoing. Okay. All right. Let it be known Larry spat in the corn and he shouldn't do it anymore. Okay. Invitation day's finished. Cool. All right. Everybody go about your business. Everybody meditating. And then someone comes along and is like, Larry spat in the corn. Larry spat in the corn. The monks who were saying Larry spat in the corn at the end of that tale are guilty of an offense of expiation. I think. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure. So basically, once it's been dealt with, once it's been formally handled, like, don't bring it up again. You don't need to reopen that and be like, hey, what about when you were spitting in the corn, huh? That's been dealt with. The penalty was paid. So, like, it's like probably the equivalent of if you get arrested for shoplifting and you do 6 months in jail for shoplifting and you get out on good behavior, they can't arrest you again for that same. They can, yeah, if you shoplift again, then yeah, you have to deal with that. But someone can't come along and be like, you're the guy who shoplifted 6 months ago and went to jail for it. You're under arrest. What for? Because of that thing you did back then. Yeah, but I did jail time for that. And then they let me go on good behavior. So the cop doing the arresting is the one who's guilty. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. Makes some sense. Okay, well, I hope that you enjoyed it. You're still here. So I guess you left it on, or you enjoyed it on some level. And all right, that's it. I will see you next time. And all right, I'll go ahead and do the closing. To the north and to the south, to the east and to the west, to the spirits of light among us and to the spirits below, we send out our reverent love and compassion. May all beings be happy. May all beings be serene. May all beings be in peace. Until next time.